Hello everybody and welcome to LMM. If you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, then the links to our social media are coming up on the screen now. And with that said, it's time for our favourite time of the month. What's broken now? So this month has been a more or less interesting month. Big news, well, we found a good new use for the digger, and that's using it as a seat because we've done absolutely nothing with that. So that's been exciting. What have we been up to? Well, good news is I've gone and back to the Mid-Suffolk Light Railway and removed the starter from 294-266, and now I just need to work out where to send it and what to do with it. But something is at least happening there to try and get the thing so it will at least fire up again. I have, however, made some practice moving on with the tractor. Now, if you're a long-term viewer of the channel, you'll realise how momentous this is. And if you're not, I have had this tractor, well, since way before LMM and since the very early days of JM on Cars. And I've always talked about doing it up and getting it sorted and getting it painted. And today, finally, we're putting some grey on. So I'm going to just sit here and paint some grey. For the first time in a very long time, it's becoming the right colour. And that is fantastic. I feel like maybe I should take the wheels off because they are very much in the way. Finally, that has a coat of paint on it and kind of looks somewhat as it's meant to look. Once again, with the whole idea of doing this, painting took a lot longer than I thought it actually would, and I still need to go back and sand it down and put another coat on it. But it's really nice to finally start getting to the end of where I wanted the tractor to be, even though we're now several years down the line of ownership. The rest of the tractors and everything else, well, it's still there. Probably should fire at Humpty at some point in the not too distant future because we haven't done anything with it because we had no real need to. The big red thing behind me? Well, Jupiter we've done a little bit more on and just got things working a little better. We had a couple of electrical glitches with it, particularly referencing getting the siren working because we like having the two-tone working. And so Ash had a look around and decided that the wiring in it wasn't very good. So Ash, I do appreciate you're taking a lot of time out of your busy schedule to sort out the nightmare which is Jupiter's wiring. But you're aware that the siren didn't work. But what are you doing? The blue lights at least worked before you started touching it.
Yes, we found out the blue lights were very bodged.
No,
so I just need to get a connector to put on there. So it's not cable tied together.
Well, that wasn't the blue lights, that was just this repeater that we have here.
No, because the blue wire is the blue lights.
Yeah, exactly. The blue light's fine. It was the... Oh wait, which one was bodged?
That one.
The blue one was bodged.
They were both bodged together.
Yeah, but what was the original one?
The original one was the blue light.
Yeah, exactly. So the blue lights were fine. It was just the bodge to put...
Yeah, but I've had to cut the original connector off so I can put the red light one on.
I see.
So all I need to do is put a connector onto there and then they'll work again.
He says confidently.
The only problem is I don't know what that clicking is every now and then.
Yeah, I've heard that again.
I don't quite know what that is.
So have we found the problem with this that you seem to be illuminating?
That was all corroded.
What is that?
That's two tones relay.
Is that what, just for the two tones?
Yeah.
And it had no wires connecting it.
This one had all corroded up because I put my continuity tester on and one of them wires is the power switch.
To be fair, that has been dodgy for...
Many years?
Yeah.
Well, it was only one tone for a very long time, wasn't it?
Well, no, I don't know if that's that, because it does that. Well, if you listen to it when we have it running later, it will go do 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 do. In fact, I've got a video of it. I'll show you that. And we came to the end and found the problem with it was a dodgy solenoid, or rather dodgy wiring going to solenoid. So now I'm pleased to report the blue lights work, the siren goes off very loud and very quickly, and generally the machine seems to be working quite well. We've had it out and about, as you've seen recently, quite a few times, and frankly I'm loving it and slowly building my confidence back up because it's been a long time getting to this stage. And the other one, well, that's still there. We keep looking at it and thinking we should do something with it, and then things happen. However, I did have an interesting conversation with somebody who's a fan of the channel the other day, who believes he knows where there are some more Dodge 100 series Commando, whatever it is, kind of cabs, which are in not bad condition, because most of the ones we've seen, if you've seen when we've been to our local scrapyard, they've been dumped on the ground, which doesn't help their problem of rotting away and the floors going. Whereas apparently these ones are still on vehicles and still good. So it's one thing we need to investigate, is maybe buying a replacement cab, or at least buying a cab and put a new floor into that one, or it's an idea. We just haven't got there because other things. So yeah, food for thought. Might do it, probably won't. So moving on to the cars. Well, the 106 is trundling around and being useful, and the NX, well, we had a really good idea with the NX, because I was sick of having gearbox issues. I mean, the 106 is bad enough, and we have a big plan for a trip that we're going to do, and I really want to have 5th gear to do this trip. So I'd managed to find myself a replacement gearbox, and we set about pulling it out, ready to put the new one in. So right down at the bottom there is the gearbox, which means everything else has got to come out to get to it. So battery tray. Do we need to take the... What else needs to come off? What else do we need to remove?
All everything in the way.
That's quite a bit. So is that's just...
Okay.
Wait! Oh, it's just that bracket there.
Yes. I'm doing it.
I see. I thought you'd take the battery tray out.
That'll come.
That's the... So we've got to take the clutch linkage off there, and that's the adjustment. We reckon the reason the 5th is gone, because the clutch has been ill adjusted in the past. Because when you change gear at the moment, your foot is right up against the very end to actually be able to change gear. And as soon as you release your foot, the clutch is biting, so it's probably ill-adjusted clutch that's killed 5th gear.
Oh, okay.
So basically my fault. So does that twist that all the way off now?
So that, yeah, that shouldn't be, it's too loose, isn't it?
Yes, it's because you have to use all your travel to be able to get the thing to do its thing. It's worth pointing out as well, this is about the hottest day of the year that we're trying to do this. It's sweltering in here.
Oh, it's awful in here. It's the same thing.
No, it's not. A train and a locomotive, Morgan, are not the same thing. A train is a locomotive and a series of wagons or carriages. A locomotive that I own is the motive power.
So it's a train, isn't it, Morgan?
Yeah, that's a train.
Yeah.
The train is multiple things together.
Can't wait to get in the road train.
No,
They go so cheap as well. And you can drive them anywhere. They're just vastly superior.
Yeah. And you can carry like 20, 30 people on it.
Yeah.
It's actually useful.
You can go anywhere.
Mine's a useful shunter at the railway. It was when it worked.
And I'm not being funny, but you're like it's still a tractor as well, so it's the best of both worlds. It's a tractor and a train.
Tractors.
I hate you both. Both of you. Just, if you weren't useful, I'd tell you to go away, but I'm afraid that I'm going to need your help.
I'm pretty sure I'm not being useful. I'm just melting
I'm the
over here.
writing guy.
You've moved it now, I can't see.
Are we underway?
That looks like goo.
That's clean. That was oh God. Oh look. Oh, well you can. I think it's.
Is it sparkly?
Oh no, it's not sparkly. It's textured.
Oh.
It is a fairy gearbox.
That's not that bad.
How do you feel about that?
Well, considering this is clean oil, we only changed the oil what 3, 4 what's broken now's ago.
That's not clean.
Yeah, it is.
That's not. That's muckier than what came out of the Starlet.
Yeah, but the Starlet was amazing.
The Starlet was new. That was new, genuinely new oil in it, wasn't it?
This isn't bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why have I not put gloves on?
Mine was black.
Because you're an intelligent man, Lawrie.
Oh yeah.
These bolts up, they're loose, and that's a problem for the car because they're loose. If these weren't tight, then you might lose the hub when driving along.
It's a weird screwdriver you got there, mate.
This is how you're meant to use it, a little known fact.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there we go.
I had a horrible vision there of Laurie's arm just getting smashed by that hammer.
But you didn't say anything. You were just like.
No, I was going to let it happen.
Oh yeah. I was just make sure the cameras are rolling.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most.
Oh, it stopped.
It's alright.
Oh, it's hit the drive shaft.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, but if we lower it now.
Pry it out, yeah.
We're going to need a bigger bar.
So this isn't how it's meant to work. We can't separate the bottom wishbone from the bottom of the wherever. The pin won't come out. So we're now going to take and disconnect the suspension from the top mounts.
Are you going to mention that we couldn't remove the suspension from the hub?
I was going to gloss over the fact that we've now rounded off a bolt there.
Okay.
That's successfully glossed over. No one will realise that we're incompetent.
No.
But are you going to mention the fact that I told you to remove the top mount about half an hour ago?
No, I certainly wasn't going to mention that.
That wasn't half an hour ago.
About an hour. So, yeah. GD ratchet, look at it.
Are you going to catch it when it comes down?
No, I'm just going to go clean. Right, so what tools do you need, Ash?
I done it.
Oh, for God's sake, did you just pull that apart?
Yes.
I struggle with that for hours.
It's taken me under 5 minutes. Done it.
What have you done?
I got draw shaft off.
Ow.
By hitting it.
What do you have to hit? I've got this end. Watch, you can let go of that. I've got this. Nice! So,
Got it?
I have.
There we
So,
go.
so for teaching people how to do this in the future,
Long crowbar.
Um,
I'm not going to show you what I use because it's the wrong tool. So it's the only thing I had to hand.
these are actually okay.
So in the process, you put crowbar between there and you just tweak it out. As you can see,
Isn't
I've marked it.
that a pin?
That's so it doesn't go in too far.
Oh, okay. Looks like it's not a securing pin that you've just
No.
grilled into its new.
No, because I didn't pull on it that hard.
He says.
I didn't, honest.
He says, looking at the devastation he's left behind. Right, so the other side.
Yep, other side.
Phew. So now we've moved this up into position, tightened these up, and I've got them at an angle, so this does not move at all. That's it.
I'll do side up for you.
Yep. Nice.
Yep, that's tight.
Cool. And now we've got this lined up. Apparently this is the engine hoist attachment. So we
Say goodbye to my light.
I get what we do. So we now hang. Oh, I thought you were going to.
Put one end onto there. The other end onto there.
And now you do the thing up, yeah?
And then you do it up.
Well, this is clever. And we have Morgan to thank for organising some actual tools for us.
I know, because I'm just used to using forklifts and diggers.
Yeah, but this is new for us. This is.
This is new for me.
Meanwhile, what are you doing?
I'm trying to start motor off.
Oh yeah, because that goes in the side of the gearbox, doesn't it?
Try and be an operative word.
Do you know it only had one bolt on it?
Did it?
Yeah.
What, the one I'm trying to undo?
Yes. The other one was missing. Do you want me to hold the light for
Oh
you?
yes, so it was. It's a stupid place with a stupid size.
I got it to go on once, and I managed to twist it once, and now I can't get it to go on again. I'm pretty sure though I did say it was a 17.
Yeah, we did say we were going to try a 17. But the other ones are a lot smaller. Which is worrying, isn't it?
Be fine, probably. It's not as bad as Jupiter. It's not as bad as Jupiter. Keep telling myself. It's not as bad as Jupiter. Why won't this come out?
I'm pretty sure one of my Kabuto's bigger than that as well.
It's a diesel. Diesels are bigger, don't they?
But look how small my Kabuto is.
Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Sweet baby Jesus. Of tiny bolt replacements. So first of all, difference in head size and bolt length. And yes. So
Someone's bodged that.
that's gone forever. And we'll put it back together with these ones.
Originals.
I
hope that gearbox works. Do you know what? I reckon the last time this came out was when the thing was brand new.
Yeah, when it got installed from the factory. Oh. We don't need this, do we?
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Oh, okay. I'll put it there then, rather than just throw it over my back.
Cool, that's cool. In the important tray.
Yes.
So is that it for the suspension mounts? That's about one bolt that holds the suspension and engine mounts.
Possibly.
And now undo all of them.
Yes.
Cool. So how many can we see that's rocking around here? Or crossed around here?
4.
Is that it?
So far?
Oh. So 2 there and 2 somewhere in the darkness.
2 there.
Yep, see them.
And 2 on top.
I can't see the 2 on top. Oh.
1 there.
Can't see that, but yep.
1 there.
Oh, I do see that one. Yep.
And that's all I can see so far.
That must be something around there, mustn't there?
It's got to be something around
I
there.
think they're there.
So we found that the start motor's missing a bolt.
Yep.
And the gearbox is missing a bolt.
The gearbox.
Yes. One of the bolts which holds the gearbox on is missing. Which presumably means this gearbox has been off before and it's low.
Yay! Or it's just wiggled loose and nobody's noticed.
Yeah, because it was above the drive shaft.
Fair enough.
But it hasn't been there for a very, very long time.
Oh dear.
Bolts out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where is it? Nice! Yeah. So are we now an independent gearbox?
Pass.
Give it a wiggle.
Possibly.
Give it a wiggle. Yeah, that looks like it's moving.
Yeah, it feels like it's moving. I'm coming out.
Okay. So, do we have to pull this away from the engine to separate it from the clutch?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We didn't think we were going to be working. What? What's the O for? Oh. Why do you keep going O?
Oh.
I don't like the keep going O. That's oh, that's definitely disassembled.
That's off.
Oh, can I press the button now and bring it down?
Yes, slowly.
Oh, I'm excited for this. Doesn't seem to come down.
Slowly.
What's in here to stable? Come back a bit because it's
You probably should take that plastic off.
this one.
Yeah, all that plastic's around.
It pushes. Ouch.
Yep, that's out.
Holy mother of many things! We've successfully achieved a removal.
Slowly weather. Ha! Ha!
So there you have it. That's Ash and 2 gearboxes. The one that looks more sketchy is the better of the 2.
I've took the part off we need.
What was? Oh, thrust bearing.
Thrust bearing.
Although, does that one, does the one you got your hand on, does that reset?
What, this one?
Yeah, if you move the clutch. Yes, move the clutch on this. Yeah, move the clutch on that one.
Ooh, that needs some WD-40 and working.
It does, because that is stiff
That
as.
is very stiff.
Then you thought the seals for the drive shaft are different.
Yeah, the seals do look different.
And we've got to take the sensor off that as well, right?
Yes, there's a sensor down here.
The good news is I did turn it, and it does turn, so it's not seized. Please stop doing it. Please don't. It's fine. Leave it alone, it's fine. Please stop doing it because you're scaring me.
I mean, that one spins freely.
Yeah, but that one was in a car. That one's been sat outside, well, sat with us for like months.
Yes. That'll be alright.
It's also got no oil in it.
That'll be alright. Don't worry about it.
I'm so concerned now, thank you.
So the next stage for the NX is it's off to a specialist. We've had a look, we've tried our damnedest. It's been in our press that we got, which is a 20-ton press, and we can't get the things out. We've spoken to a couple of groups and a couple of people, and the basic thing is it needs to go to professionals. So it's booked in, and hopefully by the time you watch this, it will have been shipped off to a specialist to be rebuilt. Hopefully. So that's it. The rest of the fleet, well, the Moggy is still there. It's disassembled now because I started pulling things off it to put the bigger inlet manifold on and the new carb on it. but in the wake of kind of current news of the state of it, I've not got any further with it. It's set there, and well, the problem is I had a car that kind of did run. I could at least drive it in and out of the shed, and now have something else that doesn't run. So that's not brilliant. Apart from that, Supra and the MR2s, yeah, they're there. We did fire up the Turbo 2 earlier as we did a move around in the shed, and I'm happy to report fired straight off and drove around. The other one has done a really weird thing with its battery. The battery is fully charged, but if you connect the negative terminal to the terminal on the battery, to the bit that goes over the metal bit, there's no circuit, there's no power at all. If you take the clip off and just connect it on the battery says it's fully happy and fully charged. So something's gone wrong there. We've tried wire brushing it and clean it up. Still, don't know. Some electrical thing has just died, and just another problem to deal with at some point in the future. Which nicely rounds off all of my problems, which are growing ever more and getting worse. Happily though, some of the rest of the team have got some good news with stuff they're working on. Notably Matt, because you might notice in the corner of the screen, his car is slowly going yellow.
So welcome to what is quite possibly the rattiest looking road legal Starlet in the country. And yes, as you can probably tell, it's taken on somewhat of a multicoloured vibe at the moment. The real reason for that is that there was an event coming up and I really wanted to take this thing. So it was a case of throw it back together and worry about how it looks later on.
Look at that, all the colours.
It does suddenly look like a car again now you've got the bumper back on it, and it looks a lot better. Would you like to show us your ingenious...
Oh, what, my mounting solution for my bumper?
Yes.
As you see, fairly solid. Like, actually, fairly good. Almost factory apart from these horrible panel gaps. Cable ties only. 1 cable tie, 2 cable tie, 3, 4 cable tie. Then there's 4 cable ties on that corner and 5 cable ties on that corner. Only with cable ties. I think that's very embodying JDM aesthetics right there. Don't you think so, Trev?
I think so, definitely. Let's get a close up.
Yeah. Oh, what, my lovely bracket?
Yeah, DIY, that is.
Yeah, I might actually need to fix that a bit.
Yeah.
So as Lawrie mentioned, it does now look like a car again with the front bumper on, which I'm actually surprised how well it all went together, fitting the JDM parts onto the UK one, but it was all made on the same production line, so I guess that kind of makes sense. One other thing I still need to do though is I've got a set of fog lights coming for the front. At first I was going to try and 3D print some covers and kind of like wrap them as well, and I found some in Malaysia for 40 quid, and they look like refurbished units, so massive win, minus the import cost, but they're going on now as well, so there's nothing this car's missing. As you can probably tell, there's a fair few rattles and knocks going on in here. The worst of them is, well, the worst rattle you can hear all the time is a little bit of trim on the back. Just it's missing most of its bolts. That just needs sticking back on, so that's fine. There is one which is somewhat of an issue, however, which is the exhaust, which well, it has some exhaust hangers on it, but it's a little bit flexible. So hopefully this weekend in the shed I'll be able to get that somehow fixed back on. It's probably going to be put on with garden wire at this point, but as long as it's not bashing around and clonking into the underside of the car quite so much, I'll be kind of happy with that. So this month I finally got round to doing the rear suspension on this, and had a little special something.
It's not leaking.
Hello. This is a job I started about 4 months ago. It's wonderful, isn't it? It's finally getting done. It's a bit muddy though, this one. This is like F1 style.
Do you want to clean up the bottom bit? Get the wire brush.
That'll do, it's fine.
Don't want to wire brush it?
I mean, I probably should. It is a bit bad. So now the springs are in, it feels so much better than it did before. There is another issue which has developed, which is that now the springs are good, I can feel that the dampers, well, they're not. After you've hit a bump, the rebound, it doesn't kick in properly, and there's a bit of all over the shop for a bit, so they need changing, and I'll probably wind up doing the bushings at the same time as those. But again, it's just one extra thing to add to this car's list of niggly problems. One thing which isn't a niggly problem though now is tyre scrub. It's only a very, very small problem, not a big problem anymore. These new wheels I fitted are actually Speedline SRs. They're from the Toyota Starlet SR, which was kind of the spiciest version we got here in the UK. And amazingly, they still rub very, very gently at the edges, but they're not ridiculously oversized like the Corolla ones are, and they're wrapped in these Michelin Pilot Sport 3s, which they have honestly transformed this car. It handles so beautifully. It's genuinely one of the most fun cars I've driven for just throwing it about, and you can go flat out all the time as long as you don't hit the red line, because it's just a little buzzy engine and you're never going that fast really to be in danger of losing your license. That said, I would like to know when the red line is, and so I have got a new set of clocks from a Glanzer to go into it, but there's a lot of rewiring which needs doing, and right now I'm just enjoying having this on the road. And having it on the road is a bit of a weird thing to be doing when you've got, like, the front bumper is still in the progress of being sanded back, because what I've done is, you may have noticed when I first got this car there were some big old holes in the front from a oil cooler, intercooler, from some pipe, and I've actually filled those now.
So, as you may or may not be able to tell, these big holes shouldn't really be here, and neither should these little ones, to be honest. I believe it's had a front mount intercooler on this bumper at some point. So what we're going to do to fill these up, we're going to get a piece of mesh, put it in here, then we're going to build filler from the front and filler from the back, and that should hopefully hold it all together. I've sanded these down, I just need to add some isopropyl alcohol to clean it up, and then we'll filler it, and hopefully we'll have an intact front bumper. So you only get one guess which of these two I did first. Yeah, this one's a little bit messy. What I should have done is what I did on this one, where I applied the bog first and then effectively just stuck the mesh into it. It's held it nice and strong, and then I can build it up from the other side. This one, I don't know what I did. I mucked it up quite bad. So we'll let these dry, and then we'll build it up from the front, and we'll probably get another layer on the back, just so there's a nice hard, like, big pack holding it together back here. So they still look a little bit tatty at the moment, but that's because I've not gone over them with the finishing filler yet. This is kind of just the first coat with the high fill polyfiber stuff. Next up is this stuff, ultrafine body filler, and that's also what I'm going to use on these little holes down here as well. The other big thing I need to get done on this is, you might be able to tell the paint is it's cracked really badly, and it's actually really feelable as well, which means the wrap will show it up super bad. So I think I'm going to need to sand this whole thing down, which I really didn't want to have to do, but needs must. Now these two great big sodding holes are filled, and they feel lovely and smooth to the touch, so these should wrap and we won't ever see them again. The only other thing you might be able to tell is just here. Whoop. So this is a little bit busted and broken here. You can see the cracks forming, and all the plastic's kind of gone broken. I don't know how I'm going to fix this, so I might just leave this as is. Bit annoying, but as it's on the underside of the bumper, you won't see it when it's on the car.
So that's all pretty much flat now, and I'm actually happy with those. The only issue is now is that the rest of the bumper, the paint is flaking off, and because it was really badly applied over top of a lovely silver underneath, the wrap isn't going to quite sit flat on it. So I'm currently in the process of sanding all that back, and once that's done, we can get the wrap finalised. Because as you've noticed, the car is starting to turn yellow, and I love this yellow. Like, when I picked up the wrap, I was thinking, that looks smart on a little car like a Starlet, but now it's going together, it's looking, so good. The reason I haven't filmed any of this so far, though, is that these first two panels were kind of an experiment of me learning how to wrap, and there is some parts where they're not perfect, so those are both going to get redone, but I'm kind of comfortable with the process now, so we'll be moving on to wrapping the whole thing, which we can hopefully bring you. Before we do that, though, there is a spot of rust like here, and there's a couple of other niggly bits which I want to get properly done before it gets wrapped, just to make sure it goes on nice and smooth. The other wrapping thing I might need to work out is the tint. Well, the rear window tint is so dark it permanently looks like my rear view mirror's on night mode, and it's kind of a little bit disconcerting, really. So I really like the tinted look, and I think it will look especially nice when it's yellow, but we might have to take that off and put on a more sensible tint. Another upgrade which has been done is this lovely rear strut brace, and I don't think I needed to do it, and I definitely didn't need to do surgery on the car to do it, but when I went to pick up the wheels, which were a surprisingly reasonable price, he had one lying about, and I was like, well, I mean, yeah, if I can get it cheap, and I just think it makes the car look like it has so much more purpose back there though now. It's with no rear seats and the rear strut brace, it looks like a proper sporty little car. And to be honest, for me, I've already have passengers back there, so what's basically a van back there is wonderful. The interior is still needing a lot of work. I want to get this bodge cup holder removed. I need to get these door cards changed out. I need to work out why the indicators don't self-cancel. I need to work out why everything. It's very much a work in progress still. And one of the works in progress I really wanted is, well, there's one feature I always want on a car. It's one creature comfort I cannot live without, and that's the head unit talking to my phone. It's Bluetooth, and this car didn't have it. In fact, it didn't have a head unit at all. So kind of what I would normally do in this situation is go on Facebook Marketplace, find a cheap Bluetooth head unit and put that in, and they tend to work reasonably well, but they go so fast on Facebook Marketplace these days, and they were either way too much money, or the second I messaged the guy after he'd only had it up for half an hour, it'd already be sold. So it was a terrible moment where I was looking on the internet and I kept looking for cheaper and cheaper head units, and well, I found one, and it's a Wish.com special, and not everyone is as impressed with it as I am, and even I'm not impressed with it.
So you know those Wish.com head units?
Yeah, I bought one.
Yeah, Matt bought one. You know, the one that was like £5, pay £10 for shipping. And we finally managed to get it working, but it doesn't have a removable faceplate like old school ones, you know, like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so because of that, when Toyota made it, they were expecting that to be the case. So you have to get it into its cage with this off, but then you would take the front plate off, put this on, and then put the front plate on. But because the front plate can't come off, you can't get this on.
I think it's the width of it. I don't think it's the top.
I do, yeah. I think it is the width. It is just about a centimetre.
I mean, I could just take the edge off there.
So we're going to cut up the radio instead of the...
It's literally cheaper to replace the head unit than it is to replace that piece of trim, because that's off a Glanzer.
I can believe
It
that.
has a boost button.
So you don't want the Goodmans with the...
No?
What does the boost button do?
It swaps between high and low boost on a Glanzer.
I can tell you
You
what
have
it
two
does.
states of tune.
I can tell you what it does.
Nothing.
It doesn't do anything.
It just makes him feel happy. He presses it.
I don't really small one.
Stop turning that on while my hand's in the way. This is as bad as when you're running around with a bloody nail gun with your finger on the trigger. You have the worst trigger discipline.
I haven't got the safety was off though.
I don't care.
Like, it can't physically work.
I don't care, Lord.
Unplug.
Chop the wires.
No, don't. If you chop the wires, I will just leave in a huff. It's been a headache as enough. Oh, you're cutting all the RGB out.
Oh, that is.
That smells good.
That is
smells
noxious.
Like, that's Wish.com quality right there.
I'm improving the looks of it. Trev in particular doesn't enjoy it, but I think what's really letting the speaker system in this car down at the moment is, well, it's actually the speakers. The ones in the front are still the stock Starlet base spec speakers, so they are paper cones and they are terrible. You can't turn the audio up above about 20 on the knob, or it just doesn't have any of it. The speakers just peak and pop, and they need replacing. The parcel shelf on this also had some nice 6x9s in it, so hopefully I can find a way to reuse those, get them sorted out properly in the front, and then you should have a tidy little car. Well, apart from the fact it's not wrapped. and it rattles like it's falling apart, and the interior doesn't match, and there's no central locking, and it's a work in progress. But it's a work in progress with MOT until December, and I'm going to enjoy it until then, when it will eventually fail on some nonsense, and I'm not looking forward to that.
And frankly, now the car is back on proper wheels and have the suspension sorted, it's a really tight little car, and I didn't realise how daft it looked on the bigger ones. I mean, we looked at it and went, ha, but now it's back. It's a proper tight little car, and I'm a little bit jealous of it. Matt has done, he's done a good job with it. It's coming together nicely, which is more than I can say for Morgan. By this time, our patrons will know that Morgan has done something unprecedented in LMM history and has bought 3 Fiat X19s.
You've already got one of these.
Yes, I do.
Why did you think you needed another one? Because I'm just going to stop you here. This one doesn't look any more complete than your other one.
No, I think this one was actually less complete because the dashboard's missing. There's no glass. To be fair, the glass isn't really in on my one, it's just taped on. That is as you'd expect. Anyway, but I wasn't planning to end up with 3 shells.
Yes, this is the other point. This isn't the only one he's bought. There's another. There's now 2 outside Morgan's house.
Yes.
Which doesn't have room for one. Let's just point this out. The one was kind of tucked away kind of nicely, and now you have 2.
No, it's perfectly fine for 3 cars there. It looks good they're under car cover, it looks fine. It's completely fine. That's a hole that's supposed to be there. There's literally that's not even rust there. We can show the view of that later. I don't know why you're laughing at that.
It's sort of like the concept of a boom. My hand disappears inside the car.
I can stand in Redbury.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, this is fine. Carry on.
Anyway, so I was having to spend a bunch of money on my current Fiat because I needed a gearbox, I needed a couple of other things. You just leave it alone for 1 second. Unbelievable. See what I've got to deal with?
It's so much more fun when it's not your car. When it's somebody else's car.
It is, isn't it? It is. What shit have you bought?
It's just like that.
It's very satisfying. It's got to be satisfying. But
when it's yours, you're like, please don't touch it.
It's the shoes on the other foot. It's like, please just stop. Just please. Anyway, I was having to buy a bunch of stuff, and we're racking it up, and the guy was just like, well, you're already spending
money,
like a certain amount of money. Well, if you just throw in a couple more £100, I'll just give you the lot. And I was thinking about it, and I was just like, well, I could either have 1 car, or if I spend another couple £100, I could end up with enough money to buy, or end up to build 2 Fiat X19s.
We have a group Discord, as the guys on Discord know, where we communicate. And we knew Morgan was going to look at it, and he just sent back a message afterwards going, I bought 2. What? What have you done?
Yeah.
So, yes. We thought, oh, well, if he buys a new shell, because as you may or may not be aware, Morgan's current shell on the finale is rotting in places.
It's got quite a bit of work to do on that shell here and there. Whereas the other shell, which is red, it's almost ready for paint. It's really good. It needs 1 welding bit on the floor pan here. Very easy weld to do, very easy to cut out, and then it needs 1 or 2 spots. Then there might be a hole like that. I think 1 or 2 places like that where it just needs cleaning up, and it's actually better than that because that's actually missing.
The worst thing is, this is by far not the worst project in the shed.
No, it's not at all. The Lotus is much worse than this actually, I think.
The Lotus has got less rot in it.
Yeah, but I've got the right engine.
That's true. Does it work?
I'm told yes. We can't. There is a problem though. There isn't really any keys or a barrel to we should turn and go. You know,
we should be able to put something across it and just across the starter, shouldn't we, and see if it will turn over at least. and feed it some fuel from a jerry can to see if it will go pop, 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 or if it just goes.
Or just put some brake clean in the car, I guess.
Yeah, that'll work. Just spin it over with some brake.
And then it'll fire right up. I'm very sort of confident.
Yes, it's going to be fine. I see no problems with this at all.
So yeah.
The big thing that we need to take away from this fact is none of these cars currently run. I don't think that one's actually going to run. I think that one there's the donor, I think. But yeah, big progress, more cars, not any further forward in actually having working cars. So that's good. Or not. It's a new one for us, having many projects at the same time. But I don't really know what his plan is, to be fair. And with that, guys, that's it for this month's update on What's Broken Now. It's not been the best month for me. It's been a fairly good month for Matt. And Morgan, well, you can take it or leave it of whether or not that's been a good month. More cars, anyway. We really hope you've enjoyed watching this one, guys. Thanks very much. Let us know in the comments just how bad that we're doing. And let us know what you think about Matt's car, an actual almost complete project on LMM. I know, it's scary, isn't it? So thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, maybe consider giving us a like, help the channel out, or subscribe if you haven't. And if you have enjoyed this one, how about over here for the video where we announced that one and the one behind me, when we announced Lemons, or below that for the last episode of What's Broken Now and see how far we've progressed in this month, which actually I think is pretty bad. This has been a bad month. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. I'm going to roll away. It's not awkward at all. It's stylish.